was like asked him on call like how tall he was. I couldn't imagine being that tall, and he said, "Oh, I'm like 5'3." And then he asked me how tall I was, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm like 5'5", 5'6." And he was like, "Oh yeah, we're basically the same height."
I also own you, AntiMatterMorty.
The violent Andy walking peppers, left the feet. Got the squad rolling deep, can't stand on their feet. Can feel on the grip, hands in the go funny pot. Sticky fingers, palm looking, the block stay hot. Side back, shadow boxing, swinging at the air, undefeated in delusion. Reality don't care, Jupiter creeping, got the whole crew shook. Running the rhymes, got a band from the book. Josh Block got the hell, bottle in his clutch. Captain of a ship that's been sinking too much. Over Andy Wildman, can't step to the throne. Worry, drop the mic, let them reap what they've sown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, and thanks for stopping by the channel again today. As many of you will probably remember, I did a video a few days ago talking about the new Cyrax Buddy Troll, and during the premiere of that video, this person actually showed up in chat and wanted to have an opportunity to kind of explain themselves and tell their side of the story, and I thought that was pretty cool because that makes them braver than, being willing to panel up makes them braver than like 100% of lolcows. So here today with us we have Vex, also known as Ashlyn Wendigo, who recently was releasing some footage talking to Chance during his hiatus. So Vex, how you doing today?
I'm doing very, very well, thank you. So something I just wanted to talk about here. I'll turn on my camera real quick, but it's just on here. Okay, so something I just wanted to talk about with this is like, I had no intention of like making full-scale troll videos to begin with. Like, as you saw, I posted my video on YouTube, and that was literally just like, I saw, what do I say, like, I just sort of found Chance and like Cyrax content like randomly one day, and I was like, I wonder how hard it'd be to get hold of someone like this and talk to him, because I just thought it was funny, all his antics and stuff, and it turned out it wasn't that hard for me to find him. And I got on I managed to get him to call me after I had like convinced this Jackie, if she even exists, to actually, for him to call me. So he called me. And
okay, I don't want to pause you too early, but I want to really get into like the details of everything. So I want to ask a couple questions and start from like very, very early in the beginning. Long before you ever spoke to him or anything like that, when and how, if you remember, did you find out about Cyrax in the first place?
Probably 4 months ago, 5 months ago or some shit.
Okay, so not that long ago. And you said you just stumbled across the content like organically on YouTube, I'm assuming?
Literally.
Oh, and was it like a commentary video or a clip compilation or something?
I am not quite sure, because I was originally like a Chris Chan sort of like viewer.
Okay, so that's perfect. That was going to be my next question. So you're kind of, how familiar would you say you are with, I guess it sounds weird to even say this, but like lolcow culture and just like this weird little corner of the internet that the lolcows exist on?
I'm fairly familiar with it, I would say, at this point.
Okay, so you kind of knew when you stumbled across Cyrax, this person is a lolcow, you know, I know what they're about, and you were interested in just figuring out, you know, if it would, you said how hard it would be to get in touch with them, basically?
Yeah, I know, it's just like, I don't even know, it's like, it's hard to sort of put it into words. It wasn't like I wanted to be friends with them or anything. That is not what I was planning at all, and I still don't plan on that. I just wanted to sort of, because after a while I started recording, right? And at that point I was like, maybe I could like get him to earn my trust, and then it's obviously on a break. Apparently he was being wary and stuff of who he added, which is understandable, strangely, coming from the Goblin.
So, you said you wanted to know how hard it was to get in touch with somebody like Cyrax. Was it, and I know I keep stopping you, but I'm only doing it because I want to get into, like, you're saying a lot, and it's all interesting, and I want to make sure we get, like, the details of all of it, even if it's a little bit pedantic. Was it harder than you thought it would be? Was it easier than you thought it would be?
Scary easy.
It was scary, really?
Scary easy.
Because I've never tried to directly contact him at all, but I've heard some people are like, oh, his private Facebook is like, it could take you months to gain and all this stuff, but you're saying it wasn't that hard at all. Like, did you just send him a friend request?
Yeah, it was pretty much within about 3 days.
Wow, 3 days?
Like 2 to 3 days.
And he was willing...
Like 3 days max.
Did you guys, like, message first, or was he willing to do a video call pretty quickly?
we messaged for like maybe 4 messages or something, and then he was like, "Okay, I'll do a call."
You're kidding me.
But I did have no, seriously, and I think it was because I had a really, really cool offer to give him because I knew I wanted some shits and giggles. I knew I wanted shits and giggles a little bit, even if it was just for myself, because I thought, like, so many millions of people watching his content, like, I didn't think mine would surface at all.
Oh, okay. So what was the offer that you put out there for him to kind of pique his interest?
Well, I noticed how everyone was like, we all just shit on his music, right? And obviously I had Marty, who originally like was doing a record deal for him, fucking around. So I thought I'm going to lean back into that so he feels more comfortable coming back online, possibly. So I literally just was like, okay, I'll do an album with you.
And that was all it took. And you would think after all this time, I mean, he's been tricked in at least 3. It was Bender Boys Records. It was Ram Ranch Records. Like, he's been fooled with this record thing so many times. You would hope almost that it would be harder than that, like that he wouldn't fall for it. But you said, I'll do an album with you. And he was just like jumping into it. Like, let's get started.
Literally. It was just that easy.
Wow, that's insane. It's almost like scary to think that it's still that easy, even after he's fallen for this stuff so many times.
After all, that's been like 7 years.
So when you first started talking to him, I noticed earlier in the conversation you mentioned after a while you started recording. So you had spoken to him on video call a handful of times. I'm assuming that you didn't record the calls.
For literally the first call, I only started recording like maybe an hour in. I didn't think I was going to record with him for that long.
Oh, he just wanted to stay on the phone like all day?
Literally, I could, because obviously I'm in the UK, so it's like the time is like I'm very ahead, and I started calling him I think at like 11 at night, 12 at night or something my time, and then I didn't get off with call with him until like 6 in the morning.
Jesus,
he just wouldn't get off.
I mean, I'm not, I guess, surprised by that, because I remember, and I think you've spoken to Cassandra already, right?
Yes.
Okay, so with Cassandra, I remember when I interviewed her, one of the things she said was that he never wanted to get off the phone, and then when he would finally get off the phone and she would go to work, he would spam text her like 100 times. So I guess he's just across the board, whether you're somebody that's making a record with him or somebody who's supposed to be dating him, it's just like if he can get that human interaction, he's going to try to milk it for all it's worth.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And what was like his general attitude when he was on the phone with you? Was it just excitement about the record?
Excitement about the record, and I made some songs just to sort of egg him on, like sort of like get him. So my phone's being cordy. I'm gonna have to that down. But yeah, I just sort of thought like I'm gonna really, really try and possibly get some content, like an album with him, like for a laugh. So I decided to try and make some songs and just sent them to him, and he was practically blowing loads all over about it.
Jesus.
They weren't even that good quality.
Was it like AI, or did you actually like put some...
Oh no, I thought I'd actually just do it like fully. So I have a decent mic, so I was like...
So you're more of a musician than he's ever been already, just because AI didn't make the song.
Literally.
Phenomenal.
I sent him the first song I had ever made, and it was still better than what he had made.
All right, so I guess, and you've already kind of said this, but I just want to confirm. So when you reached out to him, you didn't have like a concrete idea of really, it was a curiosity, but you weren't looking to like make a specific type of content. And correct me if I'm wrong about any of this, I'm just kind of trying to summarize. As you're talking to him, you kind of know it's for shits and giggles, but you don't really have a concrete end goal. And then you start recording the phone calls as you go. So, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I guess before I go to the next question, how many phone calls do you think you had with him? If you could ballpark it, like time-wise?
Maybe only a few, maybe about 3-ish, 4-ish. Wasn't very many, because something did happen during the time that I had started speaking to Cassandra.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you about, because a lot of times you were able to, I guess, get in there in the first place to talk to him, but then he's always being controlled or attempted to be controlled by multiple. You got the soy jacks and the jackies and all. And you mentioned that earlier. That I wanted to get into that. I wanted to remember that you said that, but I wanted to get through the whole beginning first.
Yes.
So what was your dealings with Jackie, soy jack, whatever we want to call this polycule of men that helps him get off during the day and stay off the internet, I guess?
I don't even know. It's just like, I'm one of the people where it's like, if he's not going to get offline, because I know it's going to be a long time, no matter what we try. In fact, I actually think that yes, him being online is fucking terrible. It is not a great thing, because obviously he's talking to minors and shit. But at the same time, if unless we can get him into, whether it's a police cell or fucking home, like the mental disability, I don't fucking know. Then I think it's great that that's at least someone's keeping an eye on him in some capacity online. Because we all know he's never going to get rid of having internet. Like, internet, is one of those things I know he's not going to have. He's never not going to have, because Sally has made it very clear many times she doesn't have Wi-Fi in her house, to the point she's confused how he's got it. So we've already ripped the Wi-Fi off his wall and everything. So
when you say somebody keeping an eye on him, do you mean soy jack?
Literally anyone.
Okay, just because I think the problem that a lot of people in the community, myself included, have with the whole soy jack thing is that at least when he's online and his activities are public and like generally people can track him, we kind of to a certain extent know what he is and what he isn't doing. Where when he ends up in these private Facebook groups and these private Discord servers, it doesn't necessarily mean he's not doing this stuff. It just means there's like nobody watching the Watchmen. You know what I mean? So I think that's
Exactly.
the issue that people have with soy jack. But I thought you had said, maybe I heard you wrong, that something happened, because you said earlier you were trying to gain his trust, and then you said something about soy jack.
Yes.
So I didn't know, had you some type of...
It was with Cass. So basically I had added her on Facebook, so I had finished recording a couple videos, and I was like, okay, I might as well just like post it and like first get Cassandra's, like, because she was the only person I found that was able to get hold of for the record. So I managed to contact her, and I was just like, okay, do you think it's good that it's all good that I like want to post this video and all that? She was like, yeah, that should be fine. Like, it's content, like people will love it. So I was like, all right, bet. I didn't think I was going to get very many views. I thought I was going to get like 20 max.
Yeah, I think the weird thing with Cyrax is that even if you were to start a new channel with like 0 subscribers, like no push in the algorithm,
Yes.
if you post something new of Cyrax that's never been seen before, somebody will find it and it'll go through that pipeline and people cover it and it ends up everywhere. So were you surprised
Yes.
by the response that you got from the community?
Oh, very much so, especially with your stream. And it was like, I managed to find it the split second it started. And I was just in my living room with my TV, and I clicked on it, and my mum was sat on the couch. I was like, oh, new stream of Morty, sorry. And she looked at the TV and was like, who the fuck's Morty? And then she just sees my face in the corner with chance. She's like, what the fuck? And then there was like 1,400 people watching.
Yeah, the new rack stuff really does blow up, for better or for worse, and I think it's I guess that's why I had kind of asked you if you were familiar with the lolcow content before, because sometimes people will stumble into this corner of the internet, and the reason that they end up getting a negative response is because they kind of dove into the deep end of trying to mess with one of the cows without really knowing how that can go sideways for people. The good example is Low T, the Alex Stefani guy that wanted to go to Cyrax's house and start demanding a pizza to go knock on his door and stuff like that. And I think a big part of that was like he had this concept that any anti-Cyrax content is going to get a very positive reaction and you'll be received well by the community, but it can be a lot more complicated than that. So I guess you were surprised that people were, I guess generally, and I don't know, when I had initially clicked on your video, the comments had been fairly negative at the time.
Especially now.
Oh, more so now? It's gotten more negative response to it?
Yes. People are now like... Well, it was funny because I found in the stream, on your stream, there was like some people like pointing out like about my appearance. Some people were like, oh, looking like that. I'm not surprised making content like this. Or she's like, doing this, she's doing that. And then there was something like simping and stuff. And then there was, as soon as I looked in the comments of my video, it was like, okay, clearly these people didn't see the stream, and didn't see the stream I did with Cass either. And they were just like, your normal calling me and shit.
Yeah, and I want to acknowledge that real quick because I don't know how familiar you are with my content, but my audience probably already knows, but I'll take a minute to say it anyway. Obviously, any of the criticism that I guess it's not even really, I don't want to even dignify it by calling it criticism, but anyone who's saying anything negative to you because of your content is very different than anybody saying anything negative to you because of like anything personal about you or gender or anything like that. And I know that that's probably not the vibe that you've gotten from me so far, and unfortunately,
you're very nice.
Okay, that's just not it's never my favorite thing. Unfortunately, that is always a thing in this corner of the internet because I think it does attract I'll put it this way. I tried to cover a Lily Tino video one time where Lily was just doing something like absolutely diabolical at Disney World. And within like 5 minutes of the stream ending, I was like, okay, so I think I can never cover Lily Tino again because this attracted a little bit of the... Unfortunately, I think people who are looking to have something negative to say about trans people will just take like any excuse to do it. So if you just are trans and you exist and you start talking about lolcows, they're just gonna dogpile on.
Yeah.
Just generally like, fuck that. That's lame. We're all over here trying to make fun of a predator who's been caught talking to kids on like 100 occasions. So making fun of the appearances of people who are also trying to make fun of him seems kind of counterproductive and stupid, but
it does. But it's the internet in 2026. I'm not surprised, and I honestly like most of the hate comments I find quite funny, and I've just promised myself at this point like I won't continue to reply to comments directly, and if they want to believe something, they can believe it.
I think that is probably your best bet because I did see very early on when I had taken a look at your video prior to making my video and then us having a conversation about the interview and all. I think I saw one response where somebody was like, I don't remember exactly what they said, but they were like, you made friends with a predator, like, do you want an award or something? And you had replied like, oh, I got you guys the content that you wanted so bad. Like, you were kind of going back and forth.
That was sort of a jokey comment.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't exactly very good content at all, but I'm one of the people who are like, what do you call it? Like, what do you call it when you're like, you're sort of like fighting back, but you're doing it
kind of tongue in cheek, a little bit snarky.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you either because when I first started, most people probably have never suddenly had a lot of random internet strangers having opinions about them when I first started my channel. The negative comments that I would get, just you'll hear something about your voice or your laugh or whatever it is, and like your instinct is always going to be to respond, but I do think it's probably good that you came to the conclusion that it's not good to respond because in a lot of cases, like that's what makes the lolcows so... I guess I won't even say that's what makes it so entertaining for people to mess with them is that they know it is easy to get a response out of them.
Exactly. Like I'm a very, very opposite person. That's why I don't mind doing like continuing on with this sort of thing. I do have possibly a plan going forward with this to get back in contact to actually really, really go up like I could do like a what you call a rug pull, I guess you guys call it.
Yes, yeah.
But we'll talk about more of that in a second, I guess.
Yeah, so I had a question. You said you had 3 phone calls with him just to try to get back into where I try to go chronologically as best I can. I go down a lot of sidebars too. But you said you had a couple of phone calls with him, you started recording, and then you said something happened that got you out of contact with him.
Okay, so obviously after I contacted Cass, we then like tried to come up with a plan to like sort of scare him in a way, I guess. Also make him nervous, and so she posted her like I think it was like 3 shorts she made, but originally it was those she released it. Let me check which one it was. It was like the 3rd one, I think. I got my eyes on you one.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. So that one was regarding me being, her British spy, as she calls me. And I had it on video. He had the chair, and he was talking about a game wheel or something. Playing Forza or something, to play Forza on or something. And Jack keeps getting a new Xbox and shit. He's got a new mic.
He's got a new. So you were able to. I was able to see in the video that he had a new gaming chair that he was sitting in, and so you were able to confirm that he has. You're saying a new mic, and did you say an Xbox as well?
I think he said he's gonna have a console coming soon.
So he doesn't have the Xbox yet.
He doesn't have it yet.
And this is supposed to be coming from Jackie.
Yeah.
Because he did talk about his fiance on the one call that you did release. So wow. So we are confirming he's got new toys coming. Jackie is the one buying them. Obviously people have been 90% sure. A lot of times things even if you can't confirm them, but it is pretty insane to be able to confirm that he's being purchased things by this Jackie entity.
Yeah, he's getting new toys. Way too funny.
Okay, so he got scared after Cassandra made the videos, the British spy stuff.
Well, that was the thing, because then we kind of went a bit overboard, because we got really excited about it. So we sent him the short, I did, and then we were like, oh, what do we say? Should we say tell him to check if there's cameras in the house or something, because it was I got my eyes on you, and I know all this information, but you'll never know why and who I got it off. And then he got scared, and all of a sudden, all of his accounts were deactivated, and Jackie's. And I have spare Facebook accounts I go on sometimes, and they're not even on there either.
Okay, so
it's completely down.
You think that you and Cassandra, maybe your feet got out ahead of you a little bit, and you blew your cover kind of early? Okay.
Yes, but I do. Can we use the hard on?
Oh yeah, you're fine. I'll ding it if I have to, but you can say it.
Okay, well, chances are, so it's not really hard to.
I'm glad that's the hard R that you meant. I was I can't imagine that they mean the other hard R, but.
Oh no, I tell you, if I had to explain him in any way, it'd be really.
Yeah, it's a good word.
Yes, I love it. So if you can hear my mum yelling in the back.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, there's what was I saying? Okay,
you guys kind of blew your cover a little bit early.
Yeah. I found this guy. I'm going to show you him real quick. His channel. Here. Oh shit. I'll have to change my computer's being weird and difficult. Okay, so it's this guy.
Yes.
He's been all up in my comments. All in my comments.
Yeah, he's been coming to, I guess not recently, but for a minute he was popping into a lot of my live stream chats. It seems like he's been anywhere in the Rax community that he could be. He's been, I think, looking for a little bit of attention.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah, he looks kind of scary. Looks like he built all himself. But how much do you know about this guy, is my question.
So I've been trying my best to stay as far away as possible from the whole community infighting, kennel kickers thing. But I have seen it. I've seen on the farms that this guy is supposed to be one of the kennel kickers, supposedly under a sock account, trying to mess with people in their chats. I've always been, and I've said this a lot on different streams, I've always been much more interested in covering and making fun of the cows themselves than getting involved in any community infighting. If one streamer is fighting with another one, I'm not a drama channel. I don't want to really draw any more attention to it or cover it, or then I'm on one person's side and I'm against the other one, and then something nasty comes out about that person. It's oh, Morty supported this person and they did that. So I try not to touch it with a 10-foot pole, but this guy has been everywhere. Okay,
that's good to know. Because I've seen he's strangely. I think it's because he's obviously too. He's seen my video and he's "Oh, you're complete best friends, fucking cool friends." So he's trying to stick up for me and shit. I don't know what the fuck. I don't really want to be stuck up for by a direct friend. One that's actually self-acclaimed friend.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really paint me in a very good light. And doesn't really allow me to say what I really am and what I'm doing. Which is still very much forming. But yeah, for the viewers, I will say, I know that content was not very good at all. I know it's pretty shit content. I know no one asked for it, but I also didn't ask for anyone else's input. I just wanted to upload my video.
Yeah. I do think that's kind of part of the internet in general, is that even if you're not asking for people's input, once you upload anything to a public platform, it's kind of just out there for people to give their input, especially in a highly opinionated community like this one, you know?
I always knew it was a highly opinionated. I just, didn't know what to... I didn't really realize to what scale, because I never normally read comments on videos. I'm not one of those types of people.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see it being jarring to see how quickly the canon can kind of turn in your direction if people don't like what you're doing. So
exactly.
When you made the decision to upload the video, this is all after Chance has already cut off contact with you. I guess, did you just feel like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk to him anymore, but I recorded this content of his, so I should just put it out there because it's new?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I can't hear myself anymore. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, okay. Dude, I can hear myself in my ear. But yeah, no, it was very one of those things where it was like, I know people are not going to like me very much. I know I'm going to get hate. But at the same time, it was just like, what else am I going to do with those videos I have? Like, I would prefer them to be out than not be out. Does that make sense?
No, I mean, I understand it, especially, I think, and this is kind of why I did want to talk to you when you reached out, because without the context of, did you have a plan? Did you not have a plan? How well did you know the community? It definitely is easy for something to look like it's just 100% buddy trolling if all we're getting without any description on the video or any narration or like an intro. It's easy to look at that and just say, okay, there's this person, nobody's ever heard of them before. They're sitting down with Cyrax, they're complimenting him on his music. It's about, I don't know, how long was the video? Like 40 minutes or 50 minutes or something?
Something like that, I'm not sure. But it was a pretty long video.
Yeah, and it's like we're not getting... Now, look, there's not always going to be a rug pull in the same video. I was a big Cassandra defender during the Cassandra days because there were a lot of people who were out there being like, I don't know what this whole Cassandra thing is. She's just making him happy. Look at how happy he is. And I kept being like, guys, you got to trust the process because he's not going to just... You can't set up a gigantic meltdown in a day. It takes time. You know what I mean? Like, he has to start to trust her first, and they got to set these things up. But I think probably the big difference with the Cassandra stuff was that she was slipping in, and it still didn't work for everybody, but she was slipping in a lot of little hints throughout her videos where he would look away and she would like flip the camera off, or she would say tink tink, or like little nods to the community, so we kind of knew if you were paying attention, like, okay, she's not actually his friend, and it might be frustrating to see him happy, but I think when you put your video out, it did kind of lack any context for any of us to know, like, what is this person's intention here? Exactly.
But again, that was... if I knew I was going to get like loads of viewers on that and like people covering it, then I definitely would have done some cues to pointers and stuff. But I didn't think I was going to get very many views. So I was just like, I'll just post it as is, like sort of take the it pissed out of him, but in my own head in a way.
Yes. Yeah.
And just have fun with his little antics. He was picking his scabs and stuff, and Wayne under the desk.
Jeez, did he? That's a good question. As much as I don't even like to know, because he's tried to cheat on every real or fake partner he's ever had. Did he ever like flirt with you or anything like that, or was it like more of a platonic thing?
Well, that was the one sort of nod I did to myself, just to sort of get a reality check that everything that was happening was actually happening. Because I'm one of these people, I have really bad anxiety and stuff. I like to try and make myself more comfortable. So, one of the things I said in that video that you saw was, one of the shit things about being trans, I put in my hormones on my arm, and he was just like, oh yeah, nah, you're all good, and I noticed he kept like looking really, really intensely at the camera, and then I stopped recording at one point, and his arm started going like You know, you
No,
could see him
are
going
you
like
kidding
that.
me?
His eyes were, like light, like proper lit up. And
So
then
you were still on the call, but you had stopped record. Or when you say you stopped recording, you were still on camera, and he was still on the call with you.
Yes.
Wow.
And the saddest thing is, I couldn't record half of it because, right, sounds so depressing. Yeah, I'm gonna sound like such a stereotype. Do you know what, like, you know what gacha games are, right?
Okay, hold on. This is like those phone games where you get like random. You have a chance to get. I think I played a Dragon Ball one at one point. You get like random characters. Yeah. Okay.
Half the time I was playing those, like, well, I'd be on Cool and World of Warcraft and stuff. But anyways, my storage ran out because I re-downloaded Genshin Impact. I had no storage left to record. And
It's White Bowser's favorite game. You got to look into the White Bowser. They called him the Genshin Groper back in the day.
But yeah, literally, I just re-downloaded it. I was like, fuck, I have no storage. I didn't want to delete it. So I had no way of, like, recording any more content. And I was really upset. And then by the time I called Cassandra and stuff, I was just like, you know what? Like, he's ran off.
Yeah. And look,
at that point,
if that, and I'm not saying it's not. If that's true, that's hilarious, and it definitely sounds like the type of thing that Cyrax would do. I would not put it past him at all. I am gonna give you a fair warning though, because I've only been doing this for like close to a year now, but I've gotten pretty good at being able to usually predict the reactions people are going to have to things. There are probably going to be a lot of comments down below being like, really, the computer storage ran out at the funniest part. So I'm just giving you a fair warning that you probably are going to see some pushback on, like, you know, I could see him doing it. You know, I also, with it, the storage ran out right when this thing happened. It's definitely going to be something that gets called into question in the reception.
It will. I already know that. But, I mean...
I like to be upfront. I never want it to seem like I'm switching up on somebody, and I would never want to do an interview and then afterwards when the reception's out, it's like, oh, Morty totally snaked me, like he was being all nice to me on the call, and now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think it's a fair question, but at the same time, as much as it is a fair question, it's like, can you really put it past Cyrax to be doing that? We know he's done it before, so.
Exactly.
So you've said in the long term that you have plans to, I guess, try to rekindle this a little bit and keep it going?
I do. That's why I was like trying to keep that's why I wasn't replying much to anyone at first, and I wanted to try and stay a little bit in the dark. But after it gets to a point where you've got your phone going ping, 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 ping every few minutes, with like comments and replies on Facebook and YouTube, and it's like people hating on me, and it's like, oh shit, I really should do something about this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, get my point across. So I'm very, very glad I got have the opportunity to do that, which thank you very much.
Yeah, no, of course.
Giving me the opportunity.
And I appreciate you coming on. I know I said it at the beginning, but like, I mean, all the times that people tell all the lolcows, like, oh, if you have something to say, just panel up, and they completely refuse, you're immediately just off the bat braver than most of them for that. So do you feel like you have a little bit of a better idea now of, I guess, what people are going to be upset about when it gets released versus what people are actually looking for? Yeah. Okay.
Of course. But again, I'm as you said before, as you noticed before, I'm very much one of those people where criticism doesn't really bother me. Hate doesn't really bother me. The only thing that was bothering me was the fact that when I would try and sleep at night and I'd get a bunch of pings all through the night and stuff, and it'd be like, I'll look at my phone and it'd just be like ping, ping, ping. 5 minutes later, ping, ping. You know, just loads of replies, and it would just get annoying after a while. And I was like, okay. I wouldn't mind if it was all really, really nice comments, but...
Yeah, no, never that. But what you said earlier, I think that the main point of this is that, yeah, maybe your legs got out ahead of you a little bit, and when your cover got blown early, either A, I think if your cover had got blown by Cyrax, but then you had not released the footage, and you had been able to like kind of get your way back in there and talk to him more, and then there had been some type of a rug pull, or you know, when Cassandra got the video of like him dancing and, you know, him freaking out to Sally about Sally, they kidnapped her and stuff like that. Like, if you had maybe held on to the footage and then released it all later after some type of a rug pull, or if you had just cut your losses and said, okay, I shot my shot, but he was able to kind of dodge it a little bit. Now I just have this. Maybe it would not have turned out this way, but I definitely think it was the release of the footage without the context or anything that led to the backlash, I guess I'll say.
Exactly, it definitely was. Again, when he released his video on TikTok last week, I was like, you know what? Maybe I can recontact him through that. And then, but by the time I gotten the time to search on TikTok his name, he'd already been nuked. Okay. So I was like, shit.
And what makes you so interested in, I guess, engaging with him directly in the first place? Like, what is it that makes you say, like, I wanna mess with this guy?
Mainly with the fact that some of the stories I had heard about him, it's hard to explain it. It's like, obviously I'm from the UK, and there's a lot of people scarily much like him, that even I know that live 10 minutes away from me. Surprisingly a lot. I know probably at least 4 of them.
No, you're right. I say this all the time, that the scariest thing about the lolcows is that these are only the handful of them that have the fixation of being on the internet. But for every Cyrax and every Nova that's online, there's 100 that they just work at the Kroger, or they work at the corner store or the gas station, and they're not online, and that's like almost scarier.
The only, exactly, and the only reason I really, really wanted to go for Cyrax, I mean, he's the only one with no no shoulders, and is literally nicknamed the Goblin. So it was it'd be very, very interesting to see what someone looks like that has what his ideology is like, and it's sort of research, if that makes sense.
Like a morbid curiosity a little bit.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of curiosity.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, that's what I was going to ask. So you've released 45 minutes or something along those lines of footage so far, but you said you recorded a couple of different calls. Do you have more footage that you're looking to put out? Have you been sitting on it because of what happened with the last one?
I have been sitting on it a little bit, but again, for those, I don't know how many people, because I'm not very good with Rumble, but so I did a stream with Cass where a lot of people did misunderstand that stream. They did misunderstand me in that stream, and it kind of annoyed me. But they all were like, oh, drop everything you have right now. So I did. I showed them the videos, and then they were mad because I was obviously, when I was saying these things, before I say what I said, when I was saying these things, I was trying to appeal to Cyrax's delusions. I wanted to see what he thought about them. So I sort of, quote unquote, sort of shit-talked some people, which I knew people would fucking hate. But, by the time I was sort of showing it on stream, but, when I was making the actual video, I was just like, well, no one's going to see this, and I want to see what he thinks about it, and what he thinks about, you and Martin, Cass, and stuff like that. So I was just like, fuck it. And then I showed it on stream, and then everyone was like, okay, bit dickhead move, but I see why it was done. But everyone was that didn't watch that stream, and now oh, you must have loads more content, release it all, and I kind of did, but then I did say I was going to release the rest, meaning the ones I showed on Cass's stream, just so those that weren't on her stream could view it. But I mean, more people are going to see that stream than they're going to see my channel, I feel like. Yeah.
Okay, so you were kind of in the character of, I need to pretend to be Cyrax's friend to gain his trust. You were saying negative things about...
I would say I'm a very, very good actor. So even his mind, I mean, I could have acted about as well as my 8-year-old sister saying that she didn't steal a candy bar from the store.
Well, don't act like an 8-year-old. He might get excited, but...
That was one of the things. I had to walk around the house with him on the phone. I had to make sure none of my siblings were in the camera.
Yeah, no, that's definitely... Look, I've seen people before that have gotten themselves into some incredibly hot water because they, whether intentionally or accidentally, had a kid in frame or something with Chance on the phone, and that's the biggest of red lines. So I'm glad you at least were on top of that. But okay,
I feel like Cats had to witness that phase.
Well, I mean, we know that he's not opposed to treating animals the way he's to treat kids. There's a reason that the dog isn't allowed alone in the room with him, but...
Yeah, I know, Cass told me that. I was fucking sickened by it.
Yeah, it's a long rabbit hole. I mean, I've at this point, I always think I've heard all the stories, and then somebody will mention something in like a Premiere chat or a live chat. I'm like, there's no way that's real, and I'm Googling it in another tab, and then you see a link to a clip, and you don't even want to click it because you're like, Jesus Christ, man.
Exactly. It just gets worse and worse. Like that, I don't know if I could talk about it. It was a photo on like kiwi farms, and he had like blood all on his junk and everything.
Oh, see, I've never even seen that. Any of that, when I'm on the Kiwi Farms pages, when it says like spoiler, and you have to click it to actually open the image, no.
Click on it.
I know. I still haven't seen the Nova video because I refuse. My eye bleach.
Which one was it?
Sorry, I think we stepped on each other there for a second. What was that?
Which Nova?
Nova Online recently uploaded a video of himself taking care of himself on the hub, and it's like a full-length video. There's audio. I've had people describe it to me in the chat, send me links and stuff like that, and I absolutely vehemently refuse to click on it because I just my eye bleach budget isn't high enough for that. Yeah, there's really no words for it, but
yeah, no. I kind of expected something like that from Cyrax, for him to have like a delusion that he's a world's greatest star, but no.
You never know. You never know what they're going to upload next. But I'm glad that we got to take a little bit of time to try to put that video in context, and that you had a platform to kind of say your piece here and everything. I appreciate you being willing to come up, especially after I was very critical of you out the gate, and still talk to me and explain your side and give some details and everything. And yeah, I mean, if there's anything else that you want to tell us that you came across about Cyrax or the process of getting in touch with them or anything along those lines, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, it was just literally, it's so hard to like illustrate like how easy it really was. Like, I was joking to my mum because my mum watches Cyrax as well, and she literally just was like, oh, you should text him, jokingly. And I was like, fuck off. Actually, it's not actually a bad idea. For some reason, I don't know why. And then I went on Facebook and I looked for accounts for like 2 days, found it, and then tried to text him, he didn't message. So then I saw he was dating this Jackie Lynn, which weirdly has the same last name as his sister or something. Or whatever.
Dale Lynn, yeah.
Oh yeah, whoever that is, yeah. Yeah, the same family member with that same last name. I thought it was a bit dodge. Spelt the same as well. And then I literally just messaged that person. I don't know if it's a bunch of, like, 3 men, as everyone's saying, or if it's an actual woman. I don't know. But anyway, messaged Jackie and managed to convince her that I'm not a troll or anything. And yeah, he just ended up texting me.
Okay, wait, so this is what I was trying to ask you about earlier, and I feel like maybe we had jumped ahead past it. So you reached out to Jackie prior to reaching out to Chance?
I reached out to Chance first.
Okay.
And he didn't answer, so then I went to Jackie.
And how did you convince Jackie that you weren't a troll?
I actually don't even remember. Let me see. I can't even find it on this account now. I'm on a different account. But I basically just said, like, oh, I'm not a troll. I promise you, I'm a musician, and I want to do an album with Chance. And that was pretty much all I had to really say.
So Jackie is nearly as easy to trick as Chance. And that's insane.
Okay, I have no idea who Chance's spirit animal is, but I'm pretty sure it's got fucking rabies, and that Jackie is from like an incest thing with Chance, because there's no way they can be that similar.
Wow. That's that's actually almost insane that Jackie is trying to gatekeep Chance, but doing such a poor job that you were still able to get through so easily.
Yeah, it was scary easy. It was just like, getting hold of like your grandma that you haven't spoken to in like 3 months.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think that's probably going to be one of the most interesting parts to people, is that I wouldn't be surprised if a whole lot of people, I feel like I almost assumed, and I think a lot of other people would probably assume, that after all these years it might actually be difficult to get in touch with Chance. And I almost feel like after this video drops, you're going to have at least a dozen new people shooting their shot, just trying to friend him and stuff like that, now that they know they can.
Yes. Also, another thing, like, I did leak his Instagram as well, that he was using at the time.
Yeah, and isn't that deactivated now as well? Did he take that one down?
I don't think so. He just won't message me on there, and it's like, he never actually added me back. I asked him for his Instagram, he sent me it, and I followed him, and he never like fully followed me back, I don't think. And then I like tried to message him. I was like, "Oh, you good?" That was after he like, I think like, wait, when was it? The 6th of March. So yeah, around the time that he would have blocked me.
Wow. Well, I can't put the video. I can't put his Instagram in the video. But if you want to message it to me on Discord, I would be happy to maybe make sure it's somewhere that it needs to be during maybe a live stream or something like that in Minecraft, allegedly. But I think I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you for coming on the show. I hope that you were able to explain everything that you wanted to explain. And we'll keep our eyes peeled for any future Cyrax trolling that might come out of your channel. Okay,
I'll do my best.
All right, well,
and the opportunity and everything. Oh, okay.
No, go ahead. You first, please.
I was just saying, like, thank you for the opportunity for let me get my word out and everything. I repeated it like so many times, but yeah, you know.
No, absolutely. I'm glad that the interview was able to. The timing. I know we were struggling with the timing a little bit with the time zone differences, but I'm glad the time worked out. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be everything for today. We will be back tomorrow. I think we're going to be back to covering Shani and Rev. There's been a lot of outdoor homeless antics going on, but who knows? There's always some new Cyrax stuff too, so we'll see what we get into. But that's going to be all for today. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And until next time, stay away from the goblin. Do not let yourself be gatekept by a polycule of gay men on the internet. And of course, most importantly, have a good one.